you know what Dubois is like. You know what Dubois is. You've been around. Dubois has been in the public eye for 10 years. So why people feel the need to like almost take the piss out of him is kind of beyond me. Just judge him on what he does in the ring. Don't judge him on what he says outside the ring, because we know he's not as sharp as Fury or the other guys, right? But in the ring, just judge him on that. And in the ring, this guy's done well over the last 5 or 6 years. The only person who's lost over the last 5 years has been Alexander Usyk. So let's kind of give him credit for his in-ring stuff as opposed to his out-of-ring ability to be the sharpest tool.
He said you were quite lucky to be where you are. What do you say to that?
Yeah, look, maybe. I think luck's made with hard work, time in the gym, dedication, doing the right things at the right time. And if you want to call that luck, then fine by me.
This is what business is about. Blood sport. Yeah, made for war, so keep your eyes on it.
Daniel is obvious. He's got no hidden tricks. He is big, strong, powerful, comes forward and gets stuck in. For me, I think that plays in fans.
We'll see. We'll find out. I'm there just to fight war, take that victory. That's what I'm there for. One fight.
It should happen, but I'm going towards Fabio, but I'm excited about the fight. It's definitely a good match made.
Yeah, it is. That's a really good fight, to be honest with you. I do like that fight. 2 really big punches. Domestics are always good, aren't they? And I said in a few interviews, I just think Wardley's got that. It's mad I've been there when you're unbeaten. He's an unbeaten world champion.
There was everybody in my gym. The kids, oh, do you know what? If my daughter brought him and said to me, Dad, I'm dating this kid, I'd be so happy. He's the nicest kid. His mum, he's a credit to his mum. He's a real lovely kid. He really is. But like I say, he's polite. He can really handle it. He's a switch hitter as well. Goes from left to right. Yeah, goes from left to right. I let everybody spar him except me. I'll give him a wide berth. I'm not stupid, because he'll absolutely mug me off, you know. We've got lots of kids down there, gym that they can all handle this.
The thing with Fabio is he has more strings to the bow than Daniel does. So he has more ways he can win. And the biggest factor for me is he's shown he can get off the floor, ride the really tough moments.
And we've seen Dubois a couple of times where when he has been beat, you know, as he left it all in the ring, you know, and maybe that's just a bit harsh, but maybe not. And if you're the opponent of that guy, then that's what you're going to be leaning into. That's what you're going to be digging into. You might be trying to find chinks in the armor before the fight night, or maybe even just on the night. That's what's keeping you in there.
This fight, so with the fights that we've seen, you would say Fabio has, you know, he's got heart that can take him through a lot of the tough times in the fight, you know. But power-wise, Dubois, speed, I don't know, they both got good speed. It's an interesting matchup.
I agree, and I think early on is if that fight gets really hard early on, Daniel Dubois will be okay. This is the thing. I'm not saying he hasn't got heart. I'm not saying he's a quitter. It wasn't in that exact words. I've watched what I've watched, and I didn't like what I saw. That's just my.
Heavyweight boxing pros have shared their final picks for Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois, and the closer this fight gets, the more divided the boxing world becomes. Some believe Dubois has the power to destroy anyone early, while others think Fabio Wardley's mentality and resilience could be the difference on the biggest night of his career.
Guys, you can take that confidence away from him within the first 3 minutes of the fight. And if you come out, start strong, put him a strong jab on him, you can get a reaction out of him, and you can diminish his hopes, really.
George Groves believes momentum is everything in heavyweight boxing, and right now that momentum belongs to Fabio Wardley. Beating Anthony Joshua gave Daniel Dubois huge confidence, but the loss to Alexander Usyk raised serious questions again, and many pros now wonder if he can mentally recover from another massive setback.
I think Fabio Wardley. I think I'll make him the favourite. Like, if that's as close as I can go to picking a winner, I'm going to make him the favourite.
Yeah.
Just because of momentum right now. Dubois, he climbed his mountain against Joshua. He then fell off the mountain against Usyk.
Yeah.
Let's see if he survives.
Paul Smith stopped short of calling Daniel Dubois a quitter, but the concern is clearly there. In heavyweight boxing, mentality is everything once the punches start landing clean and the pressure rises. That is why so many experts are leaning toward Fabio Wardley right now, because no matter how hard things get, he keeps coming forward. Dubois has the physical tools to beat anybody in the division, but fans have seen moments where doubt creeps into his performances. Against a dangerous finisher like Wardley, even one moment of hesitation could completely change the direction of the fight.
That as a result might alter the way he thinks as well. When things get out, you know what? I'm not saying he's a quitter. It's never been that. It's just what I've seen in fights when it gets really hard and he's got up and walk back to his corner when he probably could have got up on that 8 and go again. But listen, he is what...
Ade Oladipo believes this is exactly the type of fight heavyweight boxing needs because both men are dangerous and neither one is hiding from the challenge. Daniel Dubois deserves credit for taking a massive fight immediately after losing to Alexander Usyk because many fighters would have taken an easy route back. Still, Fabio Wardley has built a reputation as a man who thrives in chaos and survives the toughest moments. That toughness is why so many fans are backing him. This feels like the kind of fight where confidence, pressure, and momentum will matter just as much as power and skill.
It's a great matchup. Both have power. Fabio has this resilience. I think Dubois has a bit more resilience than people are giving him credit for. I saw that against Jarrell Miller. I saw it in spots against Hrgovic. Both are confident. The issue, I guess, for Dubois is that he is coming off a loss. I think we sometimes forget that. But I like the fact he said, you know what, fuck it, let's jump straight in with a big one. There is no, okay, you know what, let's have a 10-round warm-up fight against someone ranked number 30 to get my confidence back. No. Let's go straight in there. Who's got a belt? Who can I fight? And I love that attitude.
Dominic Ingle made a really interesting point here because Daniel Dubois can suddenly become dangerous when people start doubting him the most. But at the same time, Fabio Wardley brings a style that is awkward, aggressive, and emotionally draining for opponents. It is not always clean technical boxing, but it works because he drags fighters into uncomfortable exchanges and forces them into war. Wardley's mentality is becoming one of the biggest talking points ahead of this fight. If he starts fast and pushes Dubois backwards early, the pressure inside that ring could become unbearable very quickly for the former champion.
Dubois kind of sometimes pulls it out when he's least expected, and I do feel he is a better boxer. He's a very hard puncher, and you know, Fabio's got to get hold of him early and kind of really take him out of his comfort zone early on. But he wasn't intimidated by Anthony Joshua, Dubois. You know, he's a strange one, Fabio, isn't he? Because he's kind of, it's like guerrilla warfare when you're watching box. It's not, you know, sometimes it's not pleasant to watch in the sense of boxing, but as a fight and a brawl or whatever, and pure determination and being an animal, that's...
Fraser Clark believes Fabio Wardley is no longer just a dangerous puncher, because now people are starting to see real improvement in his overall boxing ability as well. That is what makes this fight even more worrying for Daniel Dubois. Earlier in Fabio's career, opponents believed they could outbox him over the distance, but now he is adding patience, timing, and smarter movement to his game. Dubois still has excellent fundamentals and frightening power, but questions about his reactions under pressure continue to follow him. In a high-intensity heavyweight battle like this, emotions could end up deciding everything.
I think Fabio will know himself. He only has to look at his face after most of the fights. You know, he's multiple. I think his defence has had to get better or needed to get better. But I do think off the Hooney fight and the Parker fight, I'm seeing the development of Fabio Wardley as a boxer. I think he's improving in most departments, to be honest. So I think he has bridged that gap, whereas Daniel, I've always thought, has got very solid.
Dave Coldwell did not hold back at all, and his prediction will definitely spark debate among boxing fans. He believes Fabio Wardley has the type of power and intensity that can completely break Daniel Dubois mentally if the fight starts badly for him. That has become the recurring theme from many experts ahead of this showdown. Nobody doubts Dubois physically because he is strong, explosive, and dangerous from round one. The real concern is whether he can stay composed once momentum swings against him. If Wardley smells weakness early, he will go hunting for the finish without hesitation.
I just feel Dubois gone over against lesser punchers than what Wardley is. And it's more of a mental, once it starts going, I feel as though he feels it and then he falls apart and he gets caught with a shot and he just switches off mentally. I don't know what it is. And I think if Wardley gets off to a good start, then this fight could end up pretty much...
Johnny Fisher gave a brutally honest assessment of Daniel Dubois, and it reflects the frustration many fans still have despite his success at world level. Nobody questions Dubois physically because he is dangerous, explosive, and naturally powerful, but critics still believe his technical flaws and mental lapses can be exposed by the right opponent. Fabio Wardley is exactly the type of heavyweight who thrives when a fight becomes chaotic and uncomfortable. The more this turns into a war instead of a clean boxing match, the more people believe Wardley's pressure and aggression could completely overwhelm Dubois on fight night.
Daniel Dubois, he just can't really get right. You know, he has no real skill. Pretty durable chin. Heart is kind of questionable. But
Johnny Fisher gave a brutally honest assessment of Daniel Dubois, and it reflects the frustration many fans still have despite his success at world level. Nobody questions Dubois physically because he is dangerous, explosive and naturally powerful, but critics still believe his technical flaws and mental lapses can be exposed by the right opponent. Fabio Wardley is exactly the type of heavyweight who thrives when a fight becomes chaotic and uncomfortable. The more this turns into a war instead of a clean boxing match, the more people believe Wardley's pressure and aggression. Situation surrounding Daniel Dubois and Don Charles has only added more drama ahead of an already massive heavyweight showdown. In boxing, changes behind the scenes can sometimes affect a fighter mentally more than people realize, especially before a dangerous fight like this one. Fabio Wardley meanwhile looks fully focused and completely locked in on the task ahead. That contrast is why many fans are starting to lean toward Wardley more confidently as fight night gets closer. Any distraction at heavyweight level can become costly, and against a relentless pressure fighter like Fabio, there is very little room for uncertainty or emotional instability.
Privately, Daniel's father in particular, he recognized what I've done for Daniel and the father. And I too recognize what they done for me as a coach. So it's a mutual thing. Like I said, it was a sudden ending, and that doesn't sit well with me in the way that it ended. I haven't got this entitlement that I must be Daniel Dubois' coach.
No, fair enough.
But the timing of it, when 48 hours prior to me being dismissed, sacked, the conversations I was having with Daniel's father didn't
Give
suggest.
you indications of that?
No, that's the only thing that doesn't sit well with me. But like I said, I've digested it, I've acknowledged it, accepted it, processed it, and I've accepted it, and life.
Fabio Wardley sounds completely confident ahead of this fight, and psychologically, he already seems to believe he has an edge over Daniel Dubois. That is a dangerous mindset for any heavyweight opponent to deal with, because Wardley genuinely believes he can drag Dubois into difficult moments and force doubts to appear again. The scary part for Dubois is that many boxing fans and experts are starting to agree with Fabio's assessment. Once questions about mentality begin following a fighter, every bad round and every clean punch suddenly becomes 10 times more damaging. Wardley knows exactly where he believes the weakness is, and he plans to attack it relentlessly.
If you're an opponent lining up for Fabio Wardley, you look at him and go, to make him quit, one, I don't know if it's possible, and two, if it is, it's going to be one hell of a challenge. With Daniel, you'll go into a fight with Daniel thinking, if I do some things right here, I've seen it not once, not twice, but 3, maybe even 4 times of him kind of tap out of the situation. So if that's in there, that's in there. You can get it. You can pull it out of someone. You just need to go about the right things to get it. So you're already giving your opponent a psychological advantage going into the fight, because whether you say, oh, no, I'm over it now, or I'm past it, or I'm not going to do it, well, evidence suggests that actually the opposite. So, yeah, it could be problematic.
Duke McKenzie summed this fight up perfectly, because this genuinely feels like one punch away from complete disaster for either man. Both heavyweights carry serious power, and neither one is known for backing away once the exchanges begin. Still, McKenzie believes Fabio Wardley's movement, pressure and unpredictability could create huge problems for Daniel Dubois over the course of the fight. That lack of lateral movement from Dubois continues to worry many boxing experts, because standing still against an aggressive heavyweight puncher is incredibly dangerous. The closer this fight gets, the more it feels like chaos is guaranteed and somebody may get violently knocked out.
Their camp. I think Wardley's a good fighter, and I think the Daniel Dubois fight is a very good fight. I think it's a great fight for British boxing. 2 British heavyweights knocking lumps off each other, and these are 2 big punches, and you know, whoever lands first with the best shot will win.
What makes him dangerous, you think?
Oh, they're all dangerous, all heavyweights, yeah, they're all very dangerous. These guys are 6'4", 6'5", 18 stone wrecking machines. Look how they're built. They're built like Greek gods, carved out of stone. They're training, they're young, they're ambitious. dangerous.
And then Daniel versus Fabio Wardley, who do you think will win?
They're both in their prime, both fresh, both young, and it's a real fight where it's not like one's past it and one isn't. They're both in their prime, so I think the fans are the real winners here. They get to see a 50-50 fight between two big heavyweights.
Duke McKenzie summed this fight up perfectly because this genuinely feels like one punch away from complete disaster for either man. Both heavyweights carry serious power, and neither one is known for backing away once the exchanges begin. Still, McKenzie believes Fabio Wardley's movement, pressure and unpredictability could create huge problems for Daniel Dubois over the course of the fight. That lack of lateral movement from Dubois continues to worry many boxing experts because standing still against an aggressive heavyweight puncher is incredibly dangerous. The closer this fight gets, the more it feels like chaos is guaranteed and somebody may get violently knocked out.
Jesus Christ, man. That's just sensational. Honestly, that is just brutality at its best. I have picked against Fabio 2 or 3 times. I will never pick against him again. That being said, I picked it against Dubois a couple of times. I think it's 50-50, and this isn't fencing because I 51-49 Fabio. Fabio can crack, unlike any heavyweight I think right now in the division, but he takes a lot of punishment. Like, we've seen it, and I don't think you can take that type of punishment early from Dubois. But it's a tremendous fight. Look, if it does happen, credit to both. Credit to Dubois. To do Usyk, Miller, Hrgovic, AJ, Usyk, Wardley is better than any run minus Usyk in the heavyweight division. And, by the way, Parker was supposed to be squeezed in there.
Duke McKenzie summed this fight up perfectly because this genuinely feels like one punch away from complete disaster for either man. Both heavyweights carry serious power, and neither one is known for backing away once the exchanges begin. Still, McKenzie believes Fabio Wardley's movement, pressure and unpredictability could create huge problems for Daniel Dubois over the course of the fight. That lack of lateral movement from Dubois continues to worry many boxing experts because standing still against an aggressive heavyweight puncher is incredibly dangerous. The closer this fight gets, the more it feels like chaos is guaranteed and somebody may get violently knocked out.